Checking chat levels. Woo, we're here. This is Dr. Norbert coming to you from London on the Dr. Norbert and Huggy Bear show. This is TTS Season 11, Week 4, that we're going to be streaming to you tonight. We have a great match here tonight. Excited to be here on a Tuesday night. With me, as always, is the dapper Huggy Bear. Hello, Huggy.
Hello, Norbert. It's a hot summer day here in Sweden.
Yes, we were just talking how we're getting very close to Midsummer's Day, which is a really big deal in the Nordics.
Indeed, it is, especially Sweden.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Before these boys get rolling, let's take a quick look at these rosters. So Pat has brought Beta Ray Bill, Black Cat, Crimson Dynamo, Emma Frost, Iron Man, Ulik, Sabretooth, Apex Predator, Rhino, Luke Cage, and Lizard. So he's been playing around with the Hellfire Club at our local shop. So I suspect we're going to see some Hellfire Club tonight, which is super exciting. Poulay.
And it's been recently talked about on his podcast.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, yes, you're right. Cool. So Poulay has brought his Mystique, Groot, Ghost Rider, OG Ghost Rider, Drax, Beta Ray Bill, Nebula, Rocket, Ronan, Star-Lord, and he's got the Mind Space Thanos. So more classical version of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is, I think, the same thing that he brought last week when we streamed his game.
Mind Space is a slightly less killier Thanos, not the senior Thanos one. So perhaps he's using him slightly more as a control piece, but it will be interesting to see how he deploys him should he decide to do so.
Yeah.
He could very well just go wide Guardians easily.
All right, so it looks like Poulay actually won the roll-off. He's got the priority roll he won. I am checking to see who took what and the threat levels. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a quick look at who made our map. It isn't a Pat map, which is great because Pat's playing. In fact, this is made by some of the mods, Ulysses and Thoras. Wow, I haven't seen this one. Have you?
I have not. At least, I think. Or maybe I have. Season 8. Oh, yeah, I must have seen it.
So thank you, Ulysses and Thoras, for this really interesting map. We're going to be playing on Spider Infected. So this is where there's 5 extracts to be picked up in the F configuration. And if you pick one up during the power phase, if you have a crit, wild, or hit, you have to get advanced short by your opponent. And then the classic Demons Downtown, which is just the 3 secures down the middle where they give you Incinerate all the time. You can't escape the Incinerate.
Well, it's a map that opens up for a lot of violence, usually.
Yep.
But the presence of Spider Infected can also create a situation where one team can grab the middle and retreat and then go on the defense for the rest of the game. I failed to see if Pat brought Eyes on the Prize. I would not be surprised if he did, because that would open up a midline steal. I'm also unaware who got priority.
It was Poulay. Poulay got a priority.
Oh, I can see that on the dice. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was running any particular midline grabs, except for Thanos, which is obviously a possibility. Midline grab with Thanos round 1 and then try to play the beatdown for the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Question is, though, if he's able to keep that together against a very skilled player such as Pat. But it's 2 very powerful rosters, indeed.
I'm trying out my French here in the chat. I hope that's right. Let's see if it worked.
Allez Poulay.
We have the French in the house tonight because we have Poulay from France. He was here last week. We normally don't stream the same person twice in a row, but This was we had a stream tonight, and this was the one match that we had available. But that's okay, because it's the French meta, and the French meta is new and exciting, and it's great to see them on the stream. They are super hyped. They are blowing up the chat right now for their buddy Poulay. And then,
Fantastic.
yeah, it's really great. So let's see here. Let's go Baguette. Vin Rouge power. Love it.
Did the French get a WTC team together?
Yes. I was holding on to the news, but you beat me. You're beating it out of me, Huggy Bear. Great news. The French have pulled together a team, and they will be coming to the WTC. And as a matter of fact, we have one spot on the Israeli team. The Israeli team is coming, and that evens us up at 30 teams altogether at the WTC. But the Israeli team is looking for one player. So I've promised to get out and talk to everybody. You need to contact the gentleman's name is Guy brackets Zaidi, Zaidi, number 3432. Or you could just PM me or Huggy Bear, and we'll get you in touch with that person. But definitely, if you're interested in the WTC, come help out the Israeli team, and also have a great time at the biggest show in MCP to date. Okay, real quick, Huggy Bear. Poulay won, as I said, the priority. He took Secures, so he's got Demons downtown. And Pat decided to play on 17. The choices were, what was it, 17 and 19. So he chose 17. Let's take a look at... Ooh. Yeah, interesting, right? So we'll have to ask him about that. Maybe it's actually your first question or my first question. He's taken Ulik, Beta Ray Bill, Emma Frost, Hellfire Club, and Crimson Dynamo. This is going to be nasty. That is a disgusting list for an Secure. What do you think?
It's a taller team than I expected, for sure. So it needs to not roll bad, although that is true for every year list. Spreading it out across more characters somehow evens out the odds somehow. But I am also somewhat surprised that because I did listen to Pat talking about his list on the Across the Bifrost podcast, and I was under the impression that he was considering it more as a scenario-focused list. But this is a team of violence, I'd say. Perhaps he has drawn the conclusion that against a really wide Guardians theme, possibly running Thanos, it's going to be really hard for him to play the control game, because not having priority is always a benefit for the player trying to do the control game. So basically, the matchup might have forced him into thinking more of attrition style team. That is a possible explanation. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at his cards real quick, and then we talk about the affiliation thing since Hellfire Club is new to the scene. He's taken Brace. That's my Hellfire Club, so that's the affiliation card. Fallback, Patch Up, and Eyes on the Prize, just as you had thought. And with Ulik and Beta Ray Bill, both with 2 power generation innately, that is not a surprise to see Eyes on the Prize. Okay. Poulay has taken Star-Lord, Beta Ray Bill, excellent choice, Poulay. Love to see Beta. He's fantastic. Nebula, Groot, Rocket and Groot, and Mystique. He's taken Deadly Duo, of course, Lovable Misfits. He loves that card. Crazy Frenchman. Patch Up, Deception, and We Are Groot. Pretty standard apart from perhaps Lovable Misfits.
Interesting team. Almost all affiliated.
Yeah, except for Mystique. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to look at the table real quick, and then you can talk about the Hellfire Club. So why don't you get the Hellfire Club card up so you have it handy when you talk about it. On the table, we have right down the middle the 3 flaming portals. Here. And then the 5 spider infected. They're at the bottom here, 1 right in the middle on top of the secure, and then the top 2 here. Then we have size 5. Ooh, size 5. Size 5 spaceship over here. Maybe that's the Milano. Let's pretend it's the Milano. That'd be fun.
For sure.
Size 3.
Although it does look like a Quinjet.
Now. It's an early model. Size 3 cart. Size 2 stacks. Thanos Scarecrow. Love it. Oops, size 4, Thanos' farmhouse. Oh, this is the scene at the end when he was retiring at after the snap. So clever, guys. I love it. Size 2, well. Size 1, shrub. Size 3, large rock. Size 3. So a fair amount of big terrain, especially size 5, which is new.
Yep. And Mystique can blow those up, and Pat has 2 models that are able to throw them. I think Emma Frost might have a throw on her diamond form side as well.
What's that?
Emma Frost's diamond form. She has a terrain throw, I think.
Oh, okay. Now, last time I played against Pat, Emma just stood in the back and just was being a boss. And so here we go. I'm going to show you. Pat deployed Beta Ray Bill straight down the middle, Crimson Dynamo just to the right, and Emma Frost on the far right. Beta Ulik on the left. He must have, like, why is he going first? Oh no, I see. Star-Lord went first. Okay.
Yeah. So interestingly, I suppose Poulay. Well, he did not bring Eyes on the Prize. I'm not sure if it was in his roster, because that would have opened up his round 1 grab and retreat with Beta Ray Bill. But since he didn't have that card, he would have had to place a character on the midline of the table, which is somewhat unhealthy versus Pat's team. So I suppose he decided to just go for the side Spider Infected as a consequence.
Okay. Beta Ray Bill on Poulay's side is right down the middle. Nebula just to the left, and Star-Lord was also farther to the left, although Star-Lord is now moved up and grabbed a spider. Rocket on the right, Groot just next to him on the right as well, and Mystique all the way on the far right on top of this thing here. So first move was Poulay. He put Star-Lord on that point, and grabbed the extract, and I think just left him there. Beta Ray Bill then used Eye on the Prize to grab the center point and move back onto the backflame portal. And now it's back to Poulay.
Yeah, I think the round 1 dance we can expect to see here is Pat grabbing as many Spider Infected as he can and castling up in the middle to avoid being decepted by Mystique. And Poulay, on the other hand, chasing opportunities to fish out one of Pat's characters to get the spider off of it and grab the 3-2 lead. He will be in a good position to score the middle, though. Poulay, that is, by force of having the last activation of the turn. So Pat, in order to threaten the middle, Pat is going to have to expose one of his 4 precious characters a lot. And will be interesting to see if he does that. I somehow doubt it.
Looks like
Poulay, I think he's going to.
Oh, looks like Poulay's moved Nebula just outside in the center, but outside of the one of the flaming portal, so she doesn't get incinerated. And Pat's going to move Ulik. He's trying to move Ulik up to grab that spider. Why don't you tell folks about Hellfire Club's affiliation, because it's a really interesting one and has some flexibility to it.
Indeed, it has. So listen carefully. My Hellfire Club is a tactics card that when it is included in your squad, and your squad is unaffiliated, includes Emma Frost, and this card, Emma Frost gains the leadership called White Queen's Pawns, and your entire team becomes affiliated with Hellfire Club. So it's basically a way of playing unaffiliated, but you get a leadership.
Yep.
Once per round, at the end of an allied character's activation, Emma Frost may use this leadership ability. When she does, all other characters or other allied characters contesting or holding objective tokens gain 1 power and remove 1 damage. All other allied characters not contesting or holding an objective token lose 1 power and suffer 1 damage. Emma Frost gains 1 power for each power lost in this way and may remove 1 damage for each damage suffered this way.
Yep.
So it's a very tricky leadership. You can do some fun stuff with it. Either you can use it to fuel up your own characters that are not Emma Frost with power, or you can use it to heal and power up Emma Frost while powering down and doing damage to other characters.
Correct. And the
Uh,
weird thing about it is you can play it at any time over the course of the round.
Yes. Well, at the end of an allied character's activation.
Yes, right. But my point is you can do it at any number of your activations, so you can set things up before you actually trigger it.
Sure. But there's a slight limitation. You can't do it at the start of an activation to gain the one important power to allow you to do something. There's some amount of planning involved or needed. So I know for a fact that Pat has been talking on his podcast that one of his strategies are running tanky characters that like healing and like extra power, like Lizard and Ulik and Apex Predator and stuff like that, in order to really exploit the Hellfire leadership.
So real quick to catch people up, Ulik moved to get the spider on the bottom right, and then he moved within 2 of Beta Ray Bill, so he doesn't get deception. Then Mystique moved up and decided to go to within 1 of the centerpiece. Now she has stealth, so that isn't so scary, perhaps, as it might look. I think Pat might have passed because now Groot is moving, and Groot has moved onto the back point.
Mystique, it's a somewhat ballsy move by Poulay, but given the fact that Pat had already activated Ulik and Beta Ray Bill, it is quite limited in what kind of damage he can get into her this round. Possibly could get Crimson Dynamo within 3 by moving. No, I can't give him an extra power this round because he's not contesting an objective. So, worst case, I think, is she gets beamed once by his beam, and I don't think he will be in range even. So, pretty good move. She's going to be incinerated, which is something she does not like, but he sort of ensures, by the way things stand, that he will be able to just move up Beta Ray Bill to the middle as his last activation and guarantee scoring the middle this round, giving us a 4-4 situation. So mitigating the fact that Pat got the middle
spider.
Exactly. Ooh.
So real quick, Emma Frost grabbed her spider from the top right and now is moved towards the center within 2 of Beta Ray Bill, again to ward off deception. But as you can see, after you scoop up the spiders, this all becomes about being down the middle on this scenario. What, you okay?
Somewhat questioning the fact that he's activating Beta Ray Bill already, because he could just as well go with Rocket and just position him for the next round, because now Crimson Dynamo will be able to shoot Beta Ray Bill and possibly get a lucky shock on him.
Yeah.
And that's going to be annoying. So I'd say it's kind of an unnecessary risk to take.
Yeah, I'm hoping he realizes that Crimson has got that beam, because that is Crimson's signature attack, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's in ease. He is primo. I run him in my Shadowland Daredevil list, and he only comes out on ease.
He is a fantastic piece. Staple in Shield.
Someone's asking you a question in the chat. A strategy question.
Sorry.
Sergrim. Oh, you know.
Sergrim. Oh, there. Do you think the spiders will play a big part in potentially moving the big boys backwards for Pat and causing them to be out of that position? Yes, it may very well be so. The model with the biggest disadvantage of holding a spider, I'd say, is Beta Ray Bill, because he has somewhat lackluster action economy. Ulik has his pounders 2 times a turn charge, so I wouldn't worry too much about his mobility. But the fact that Pat is running a 4-wide team and there are 5 extracts on the table is already there a sort of difficult, tricky situation, because you start being forced into disadvantageous activations quite fast when you're running that few characters. And so if a spider triggers in the power phase on a character that you wanted to save for last, then your opponent can use the spider move to bring him out into harm's way and force you to activate that character early, denying you a more powerful activation later that round. So the spiders might turn into an issue for Pat for sure.
All right. Crimson Dynamo decided to move up. He then decided to beam just Nebula. Keep in mind, he couldn't beam also Mystique because she's got stealth. So it was either just Nebula or just Beta Ray Bill, and he chose Nebula. He managed to do 2 damage through on Nebula, and now he's using those 2 power he got from that attack to place himself. He has an ability to place himself within 2, and it looks like he's moving himself forward but outside of 1, and is now playing my Hellfire Club.
Yep.
So this means power goes on. Oh, I beg your pardon. He must be within 1 of Crimson Dynamo. Must be within 1 because
he was at 0 power, so unable to lose any power. But this is him setting up a really nice beam for next round. Oh, so Rocket is still to go, but he has an activated token on him. It must have been put there by accident earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. Also has a Winging It token. Tonight, with the warm weather, supposedly warm weather, it's not very warm here in Britain, but they think it's warm. I've elected to go with a G&T as well.
Yes. Great choice.
In fact,
what gin and what tonic?
Yeah, tonic is just Fever Tree, standard and good. But the gin comes from East London Liquor Company, which is a distillery about 45-minute walk from my house. And so they have all kinds of yummy things that they distill there now. We had some Negronis there over the weekend with my dog. It's a picture on Facebook if you're interested. And I like their gin, and so I picked a different kind of gin that's better with gin and tonic than Negronis, and brought that home.
Fantastic. I'm running one of my new favorites, which is Roku gin with hibiscus flower tonic.
Ooh, nice one. Cool. Rocket moves up. He goes ahead and shoots Crimson Dynamo. Manages to do 3 hit points. So he's on 3 out of 6 hit points now. Not bad. Not bad. 4 hits, but 1 save.
Every damage point you can get into Crimson Dynamo counts for something. Although Dynamo is the only character not holding a spider, which is clever move by Pat to not put a spider on him, because he is the character who does not like this to be displaced, because he wants to apply his range 3 disruption field on as many characters as possible and not be moved out of the way. Plus, he's really hard to do big amounts of damage to. So it's going to be sort of not wasted, but not as valuable to attack him as Pat's other characters. So he's if he had been holding a spider as well, it would have turned into sort of a no-brainer to try to attack him. Now he's putting Poulay on a spot where he has to pick either going for points or dealing with Dynamo.
So Poulay, you don't see it now, but he did flip the level of misfits, and I think that's what's going on here now. So Nebula rolled a blank, which means she can advance short, so he's managed to move her closer in striking range of Beta Ray Bill. I think Nebula or Screw, somebody else rolled already, and I didn't see what happened, but I don't think it was consequential. Whatever it was.
Very interesting move. I don't remember if I've ever seen... Ooh, he got the stun on Rocket there.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it being played at the end of round one. Really interesting, and he's used it to get Beta Ray Bill out of the way to avoid the really juicy beam that Pat had set up with Crimson Dynamo. I do think we can be almost certain that Pat will activate Crimson Dynamo first next round to start building power on him for the disruption fields, unless the spiders, as we talked about, puts one of his other characters in a really tricky spot that he needs to handle. So
good point. So it's 4-4, just as you predicted, and now is the time when the people, after they get power, of course, they will then do the spiders one at a time with Poulay starting first since he has priority.
As a matter of fact, priority slips over to Pat now, so Pat should be first.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. I looked at the token the wrong way. Beg your pardon, guys. Okay. Yeah, so they're throwing incinerates up on people because of the secures, and then the spiders will check the spiders. Is crit wild or hit that they have to move?
Yep. 50% chance.
Apparently, Poulay's signature move is doing a turn 1 lovable misfits in France, so we're learning so much about the French meta right now.
Cool. I like it.
Ulik is rolled for his spider, and in fact has to move. So Poulay is going to move him out into Africa. Get out of here, Ulik.
I think there is some sort of showing on the streaming overlay, because Poulay appears to have lovable misfits twice among his cards, but
oh really? Yeah. Okay, I'll take a look with the other ones.
It looks like it's patch up.
Yeah, should be patch up. Okay. All right. The other two people who had a roll on Pat's side did not have to move. Storlord has just rolled. He has to move.
Mm-hmm. This is that was sort of lucky for Pat. Ulik is the character that is least troubled by the spider move.
Yep. And that's because of the crushing leap. Yeah, like Beta Ray Bill, it sucks for him if he had to move because he's got bad action economy.
It's basically a stagger on him.
Yeah.
On Ulik, not necessarily.
All right, and the next spider on Mystique is a skull, no problem. Oh yeah, now patch-up's fixed on the overhead display. Again, folks, if you're just tuning in, the Israeli team just need one player to finish out their team. Message me if you want to join, or message Guy Zaidi, Zaidi, and come along to the biggest show. I'll be there. Huggy Bear will be there. Pat will be there.
Everyone will be there.
The French will be there.
I've not been following along what Americans will be there, but I do think they have 3 teams at least.
3 teams. 3 teams of super hyped American players who will be coming into the European meta.
But there are so many quality US players, so it could be anyone.
Could be anyone. It could be anybody. They're going to come. We're going to see what they make of the European meta. We're going to see whether they can manage to keep up with all the drinking that the Europeans, they set a certain pace, let's say. They set a certain pace. That is sometimes a little bit of a shock to the American system. But, that's what's great about these things.
Yeah.
You come and learn new cultural
Our
differences.
beer is not as light.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's going to be on tap. We got to get Gil. I wonder if he's in the chat. Gil, if you're there, please tell us what's going to be on tap at the hotel venue that we're in.
Probably Carlsberg.
Yeah. Meh. How about Elephant? Elephant beer, right? That was a unicorn type beer in the States when I was growing up.
Wasn't that the one was really strong, like 8%?
I think so. Yeah.
Or even 9, 10?
It was legendary.
Basically wine.
Beer wine.
Not really.
Barley wine. Barley wine, they call it here in Britain. There was 2 things. Elephant was like the holy grail of like these beers, like Mystique beers. And the other one, for me living on the East Coast, the other one that people would whisper about and wonder how they could get a hold of was Coors. Coors was only brewed west of the Rockies. I think that's part of its logo or slogan, even Rockies or something like that. And it was legendary because nobody could get it. I mean, it sounds crazy because it's just Coors, but that's how it was back in the '80s when I was growing up, drinking beer behind
Nice.
dumpsters.
So we're seeing Pat carefully measuring out a perfect beam with
Yeah.
Crimson Dynamo.
So he's using
And,
his placement ability to get himself in the right position.
Yep. Rocket pods or something. I think it's called, not rocket pod.
Oh no, the rocket pods is his second attack.
Propulsion thrusters.
Propulsion thrusters.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm no rocket scientist, so how would I?
All right, Beam's going into Mystique, who he can see now, and Rocket. Keep in mind, Rocket is stunned, so that means he will only get 1 power for each damage he takes, although not a big deal on Rocket since he doesn't have a lot of damage to take. But Groot will be taking this.
Nebula is going to take damage twice,
Ooh,
and
Nebula. Oh,
may
sorry.
very well go down.
Yep.
Perhaps not on the first shot.
Yeah, it looks like 3 hits into 2 saves with the reroll. Reroll doesn't help, so it looks like 1 more going into Nebula.
Boop. Yeah. But
Yeah,
he's going to be able to do this 1 more time. So it's almost better for Pat. Well, it is better for Pat to not get her in 1 shot because he gets 1 power for every attack he does. So it's going to...
Looks like there's some horse trading going on in the chat between the French and the Americans about bringing over delectables from the United States that they can't get, and vice versa. Oh, look at them! There's some definitely deals being made. You know, Nigel's a businessman. He knows how to make things happen when it comes to commerce.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going into Groot now. It's Rocket being bodyguarded into Groot.
Yeah. Incinerated Groot should not be a big fan of energy attacks.
Yeah.
Although not too many hits. Well, 3 hits on 5 dice is average for sure. Or slightly above even.
Right. Did
but it's dangerous. If Pat had gotten a spike there, it could have hurt.
Yeah.
Bad.
Groot's taken 3 out of 7 then.
Yeah.
And it looks
Groot
like Mystique
does have his built-in heal ability though, so he's not that bothered by taking some extra damage early.
Yeah. I think I think Mystique managed to survive without any damage at all in that attack. And wow, I think Nebula also managed to survive that one. Mystique's going in. This is the second attack, guys. Wow. Nebula, very lucky for Nebula. And looks like this time Mystique is going to take 2 damage. Yep. No shock, though. And lastly, Rocket going into Groot, presumably. Let's see what happens here. Nigel, are you going to be able to give a little prize support to WTC? It'd be great to see your stuff there. Ooh, not a good hit again into Groot this time.
Huh?
So
that could have gone better for Pat. Getting at least the days on Nebula would have been good for him. But then again, what he's really after here, I assume, is just building power on Crimson Dynamo so he can spam disruption fields all day, which is what he is likely to be doing.
All right. So people are pointing out for each attack, he gets a power, regardless of the damage. So he built up himself 7 power, 6, I guess, from the attack.
6.
Yeah. And why that's important is he can spend 2 and make the attacker re-roll 2 dice if that attacker's within 3 of him at any point.
Yep.
He's so good.
If he had, he's probably a bit sad to not get a shock on either Groot or Mystique. Shock on Mystique makes her very, very sad because rapid fire with 3 dice is no bueno.
Ooh, look at you. We're going to have to start drinking margaritas on this and having burritos. You keep this up.
You know, I took Spanish to junior high.
Is that for
but
all
I don't remember anything.
Well, the opportunity to practice Spanish in the Nordics seems limited.
Yeah.
Nigel says it's so you can woo the ladies.
Yes. That's it. I did attempt that once, but I failed miserably.
She wasn't impressed, huh?
Nah, she was Spanish, so very hard to impress.
Spanish women, though, it's definitely worth trying. I don't fault you for that. There are some very beautiful women in Spain.
Agreed.
Apparently, the French.
Bruce just spent a bunch of power.
I think he's going to heal himself, right?
Yeah, but he didn't remove any
he
damage.
maybe did his spender, but I don't think he has range. Maybe.
Nah, I think it's range 2. Pretty sure.
Oh no, it's range 3. I thought. No, maybe you're right.
Maybe. Did he play a card?
Yeah, maybe he played. We Are Groot. That's what.
We
happened.
Are Groot.
Yeah.
Healing people up. Yep.
Yeah.
That explains it.
Makes loads of sense. So Nebula got healed up. He healed himself as well. And now looks like Nebula, all fired up, is going into Crimson Dynamo.
Indeed.
Some of the French guys learned German to help their chances with some of the ladies, but also have forgotten it in a sense. Everybody struck out with the ladies and decided to forget the language. All right. Nebula, not bad. What was it? So still reeling some dice. That's 4 hits so far. Yeah, 4 hits into 2 saves.
Oof.
Not the greatest. Although she gets her rerolls now, or using winging it, maybe.
Maybe. I think that's the disruption field.
Oh, the disruption reel. Yeah, right.
Or was it? Maybe that's the winging it token. Now the disruption field.
A lot of dice being rerolled.
Because Dynamo spent 2 power, so
yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. So
and Beta Ray Bill can spend a power to negate.
Yeah,
1.
so that must have been Nebula into Beta Ray Bill. And
yep.
Because of all the rerolls and because he can reduce by 1 if he pays for it, he only had 1 damage go through after all that.
Mm-hmm. She was also shocked, so rolling 1 dice less than normally. Although she does get all of the rerolls. Beta Ray Bill is immune to Incinerate as well, by the way, so he's very good on demons.
What a Chad.
For that reason.
All right, so Nebula places within 1 as part of her attack, and it looks like he's going to attack again.
And Pat did spend 2 on Crimson for another disruption field.
Ooh, not great. Not great. I don't think anything went on Bill. Bill's between Crimson Dynamo and Bill's own abilities, guy's a tank.
Yep.
Yeah, if he gets into position, which an E shape allows him to do, he's a menace.
He's now standing on still 3 power, which allows him to throw a size 4. And yes, as Dams Aurora points out in the chat, he also has the possibility to heal himself with Emma Frost's leadership.
When I played against Pat with my Daredevil list, I forget who it was. I think it was Iron Man. Iron Man healed 12 points of damage over the course of the night. I just kept pouring damage into him, and he kept healing it up. And plus his innate ability to reduce damage. It sucked so bad. I was so miserable. And it was all his characters, but that was in particular. I think we counted it up. I mean, they were all saving double digits worth of damage. You just can't put them down if you play them correctly.
No. And that is the true strength of Pat, I'd say, because he's really great at finding lists that make the opponent miserable. Taking away your options, taking away your good options, giving you bad ones in return. But still, it always feels like a really nice game because Pat is such a nice guy. It's like you don't even notice you're being hammered.
I know. It's like he administers a bit of anesthesia, so you're not quite feeling it at all. but the damage is being done. Trust me. Yeah. So, Nigel's watching this match. I'm sure this is going to come up on the next edition of his podcast, Muse MCP, Muse on MCP, or Muse on Marvel, I guess it's called. So definitely tune in, listen to his podcast, so you can hear about his worries about Hellfire Club and how he saw Pat bring them to life.
Yeah.
That's Nebula done, and it looks like Pat's looking to see what Bill can do next.
Yep. It seems that Pat's strategy here could very well be to try and remove activations as much as possible from Poulay, because he has 2 characters less on the table, so he can daze 2 characters that hasn't activated without priority swinging.
All right, Bill's still thinking.
He has
about
two immediate threats. I mean, I suppose he has 3 options with Bill here, or Emma, or any of his characters, really. Trying to go for Mystique, who is a big threat, especially to Crimson Dynamo. Or trying to... I'm having a hard time seeing him taking Beta Ray Bill, Poulay's Beta Ray Bill out in one activation, but he could, for instance, move up, throw him away with his own Beta Ray Bill to give the Guardian Bill a bad activation. But another option is absolutely to pass.
So it turns out I was on the wrong side of the internet yesterday, Huggy Bear. If you hadn't noticed, I did say that the new Across the Spider-Verse film was merely okay. It was okay.
Right. I haven't seen it, so
yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. But I'm on Team Miguel. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
But yeah, people not happy with that opinion, and let me know about it. But that's okay.
But what did you think of the first movie then?
The same, absolutely same. Fine
All
movie,
right.
but not sure like what everybody's pants on fire love affair with the film was about it. And this one's pretty much the same in terms of its style, and I think why people like the first one is pretty much this one. So here it comes. Yeah, here come the pitchforks. Go ahead, PHP. Bring them on. Bring your torches too. I'm ready. It was fine. It was fine, people. But it wasn't like, oh my god. Beta Ray Bill throwing that size 4 hut into... Did Nebula have
Nebula.
Oh god, he really didn't want Nebula there anymore.
Yeah, I suppose he's aiming to have her KO'd next round. As a matter of fact, but it's going to be harder to KO her than getting her dazed, because she was currently at 2 damage left on her healthy side. But next round, she's going to go up to 5 health points.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Okay, so I'm not sure what Beta Ray Bill, what else he did.
Attack, throw.
Who else did he attack though? Sure. Just Nebula?
Did he strike her twice?
God. Anyhow, somehow Beta Ray Bill's done, and Groot's moved forward and attacked, I guess, Crimson Dynamo. Oh, he shook. He shook shock. Thank you, sir. That was Nigel paying attention when I was giving unpopular opinions. I'm giving unpopular opinions to get more subscribers. Okay, tune in for more hot takes that are very unpopular that it cause me problems. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Do those things. All right, so that's Groot. It looks like he healed himself some more. He's on 2 out of 7 and sitting on the center, secure.
I think Pat is going to have to tread carefully here, because if there's one thing that the Guardians do well, it's spiking away activations with their winged tokens. So if Pat's characters start to go down before activating, Poulay's gonna have a whole lot of characters going without opposition, and that might spiral out of hand quickly, points-wise, for Pat. Which is the weakness of running a tall list. If you start losing activations, it starts going downhill real fast.
Yeah, so true.
But then again, never question the brilliance of Pat, and is able to pull wins out of his
Derriere.
Posterior.
No, use the French word. We're playing French land. Derriere. I don't know how to say the rest. Merit. he looks like, I think Groot was able to put 1 damage on Crimson, so he's on 4 out of 6 now. And then he healed himself, and now he's sitting on that center point. So it's up to Pat now, either Emma or Ulik to come into the fray. The French say it's le col. La porte derrière.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But isn't a cool half of the ass? Like a buttock.
1 cheek. We're learning so much today.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Poulay is trying to figure out what to do with Mystique. Looks like poor Crimson Dynamo is getting all the love today.
Yep.
Apparently, cool.
Question is if he's gonna spend for disruption field. No. Ooh. No rapid fire so far.
He's got the crit. Oh, lucky.
Oh, there it is.
Lucky.
I was thinking if Pat would have spent for disruption field to prevent the rapid fire, but yeah, maybe that's in vain.
Yeah, maybe he's like, this is a lost cause anyway.
Oh, he can't disruption field. You're right, Stephen Swayze. Shapeshifter, yeah.
Shapeshifter.
My bad.
Stephen Swayze is Nigel, for your reference. Okay, so he did 2 damage, but because of damage reduction, Crimson only took 1. But then the rapid fire procced, and he was able to put the last damage into Crimson, who is now dazed. That leaves 1 activation left for Mystique.
I need to get in shape. I should have known about Shapeshifter because
everybody forgets.
I've been playing Mystique every game this season. So.
Oh, did you? What's your record so far?
2-1.
2-1. Okay. Did you play your 4th game yet?
I did not. Is the draw up?
Pair down.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm playing it tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Gotcha. Cool. Well, good luck because you need it, right? Otherwise you're out.
Yeah. Sure. I got the knife against my throat, so
that's always a motivator.
Under pressure.
Good motivator. Yep.
But it will be interesting. It's always fun. I have a big tournament coming up in mid-June, so I need all the practice I can get.
Oh, is it a Midsummer's tournament?
It's a week before Midsummer's. It's the World War Hulk.
Oh, fun.
22 people. Almost half of them Danish, so it will be very prestigious, very important.
Oh yes.
Can't just let them
come in on their boats and take your livestock.
No, exactly that.
I saw a map of England in the Middle Ages when the Danes had a significant part of it. They had a huge part of England under their control. Holy mackerel!
Basically, the whole of it.
Well, it's sort of.
It was known as the Dane Law.
Yeah, sort of the top part. The top part was mostly theirs,
Yep.
but the bottom part wasn't. But yeah, wow. All right. Let's see.
Frost went over and attacked Groot, it seems.
Yeah, I think so. I think she moved over. She's now still
the damage.
Contesting.
No wild.
What's the wild do for her?
I think it allows her to move him off.
Okay. And he's just played Hellfire Club, so he's powered up all those characters.
Yep. Yeah. A hit and a wild allows him to advance the target character short,
I think.
which
Thanks, guys.
could have been problematic for Rocket.
Yeah, well, the chat is saying they would have moved that character forward, and then Ulik would have been able to crush and leap and start hitting him. But that's not happened. So Pat's a bit on the behind the eight ball, just a little bit.
I'm having a hard time seeing any particular reason for him to activate Ulik before he. I think we're gonna see 2 passes by Pat.
Rocket moves up,
From here.
so now he's within 2 of of Groot, of course. So he gets the bodyguard bonus. Let's see if he's within. He is not within 1 of the middle objective.
No. Looks like he took care to not place him there.
And looks like he wants to start focusing on Emma next.
Yep.
He has winging it.
Getting her. She is the easiest character out of the bunch to kill, and getting her into diamond form, diamond form, is gonna give her a bad activation.
All right, here's the roll.
Not say bad, it's slightly less flexible activation.
Mediocre hit and a good save. They have really good save now, so that's
oof,
nothing.
Oof.
Pat's dice come back. Just
toying
with him. Just toying with him. Yeah. People are looking for the deadly duo. Will Poulay try to satisfy what the audience wants? Give them what they want, Poulay. Just give them a little less than they want. Yeah. Always keep them wanting a bit more. That's why I never take my shirt off
on the show. I think Deadly Duo would be better played at a point in time where it could take away activations for Pat. He can only target, the way things are now, he can only target characters that are already activated.
Right. And he's elected to finish the activation, so no Deadly Duos. Yeah. And maybe he's thinking along your same round. All right, it looks like Pat did, in fact, pass, and so Star-Lord's going to come back into the action. Now, right now, Poulay's got 2 spiders and 2 points, giving him still 4 points overall. Pat is in the same position, so it'd be parity at 8-8 if nothing else changes here. And it looks like a double move by Star-Lord, so he's holding the back... Well, no, he's not holding the back point. He's near the back point, though. Interesting positioning. Mm-hmm. Poulay's got some interesting positions. I never quite understand what he's up to.
Time for some Ulik.
Adman B says saving duo for when it's perfect is a good way to never play duo.
You might be right. We'll see.
Ulik moves forward with his first activation, and let's see who gets crushing leaped. Who is has the pleasure? Could be one of the back people, Mystique or Star-Lord. Let's see.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the crushing leap translates to a range 5, if that is what it's basically. I suppose the short move plus the base, that's 5 inches plus sort of kind of like 8 inches, 8-9 inches, so it's like a +2, so it maybe range 5 plus an inch or something he can reach with the crushing leap.
My friend Peter Side from Adepticon mentioned he just won his 4th round based on a single dice roll on Sword, which led him to go 17-16.
Oh wait, my bad. It should be crushing leap reach should be something like 13 inch, but just because he gets to put his base down twice, not once.
Mm-hmm. It's basically it's a little less than the 5 stick.
It's basically 5 plus a 2.
Yeah.
So he should be quite capable of attacking both the characters on the back point of Poulay.
All right. He gets
decisions.
Places within 2. And then he'll have a range 2 attack. So he can pretty much get any of those 2 characters in the back. Actually, he can get all 4. No. It's dealer's choice.
I'm assuming he's taking into consideration the placement of Poulay's Beta Ray Bill as well, because he does not want him to have a nice activation into his Ulik.
All right, he's chosen to beat up on Mystique. Who's incinerated? Not good times for Mystique. 3 hits, including a wild, which means he gets to push her any direction.
But a good block, though.
Fantastic block. Blocks it all, but he gets the push. Let's see what Pat does with that.
Yep. Getting her off the point is not bad.
Right. That means he loses 1 victory point.
Yep. And he's collecting them all in a big pile in the middle where that Crimson Dynamo can have fun with next round.
I want to thank the Huggy Bear for coming on tonight on Tuesday. Not our usual night, but I've got business trips coming up. I'll be in Vienna from Wednesday through Saturday. If you're in Vienna.
Lovely city.
I know.
Very nice, but also very expensive.
Yeah, but not when you're on a business trip. Then it's all quite reasonable.
Yep. Yeah, I've been there twice, or at least that I can remember. It's
if you can remember, woo, that kind of a night. Huh?
It's fantastic. There's so much to do, so many museums, castles, and things to see.
Yeah, pastries to eat.
Great food as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
tasty wines, tasty beers, tasty food.
I've never been that big a fan of Austrian beer, if I'm being totally honest.
Sure.
I think it's way behind German beer.
Wow. Okay, so if you have notes to write about the Spider-Verse, send them to me. But any beer-related queries, send them along to Huggy Bear, not me. Maybe there's a Viennese MCP club. Be nice to know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You should find out.
Where was your honeymoon, Huggy Bear?
It was in England.
Oh, yes. You went to
UK.
York. Yeah, you went to York. Yes.
Yeah, went to London for a week. Then Edinburgh for 5 days. York for a couple of days. And also somewhere else that I have now forgotten. It's been 9 years, so maybe it was London plus, London, Edinburgh, York.
How did you guys decide on that?
I think we decided on it because my wife is an archaeologist, so she wanted to go to York to the Jorvik Viking Museum.
Yeah, sure.
And also the cathedral, and it's a lot of medieval stuff overall.
Yep.
But also a nice bonus was the railway museum.
Fun.
That I enjoyed.
Excellent.
And London is there's a lot, and we're both history buffs, and so given that, Edinburgh is probably the superior great city in Scotland.
Wow, you are really looking for hate mail. I mean, you just just aim at Huggy Bear about your beer complaints and about which city in the UK is better. I'll just stick to my thing about make-believe animations on the screen. All right, It looks like Beta Ray Bill threw Ulik away.
So far.
Yeah. How?
This has to be a spider.
They're doing spiders. Yeah, sure enough. It's 8-8 as we predicted because Beta Ray Bill moved up to secure the back point and then threw Ulik away. Unfortunately, Ulik again rolled the spider, which should put him way back in Africa. There, no good for Ulik. I think Emma seems to be okay, and Beta Ray Bill seems to be okay on Pat's side. That leaves poor poor Star Lord is still struggling with his spider
Yes,
infected person.
yes, he's building
Oh,
the beam,
oh God.
building up the, building it up. Oh man, yep, he's setting him up. He wants him incinerated.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble, Huggy Bear. Apparently, Juggernaut says, yes, there is a Viennese MCP club, and some of us will be going to the WTC as well and meet you there and perhaps have a discussion about beer.
I am looking forward to it.
I'm so glad to hear that the Viennese are coming. Fantastic. Love it, guy. Thank you for coming and looking forward to having that beer and your lecture to Huggy Bear. Welcome, Nuza Shalut. Nuza Schalt. Sorry, maybe that's French. I don't know, but welcome it nonetheless. Nigel stirring up the pot about hate mail. He says we should complain about the fact that Longshanks collecting data is bad for the game.
This is a sweet 2 beams.
I know. This is pretty
Two pair
ugly.
of beams.
Good old Pat setting things up perfectly as usual.
Poulay put the winged tokens down, as Ikari points out. Yep. He's on it.
Good old Pat, being sportsman as always.
That's 4 winged tokens though.
4. Hey, why not? Poulay's like, yeah. All right. So the first beam, wow. It dazes Groot. Now it's going into Rocket. Rocket doesn't have his bodyguard protector, so this is. Oh, but the hit wasn't very good. I think he saved it.
No.
Friggin' Rocket.
Shock at least.
Shocked or something. Now Mystique next. Ugh.
Good God. This could, yeah.
Nigel's hilarious. He's like, this is Dynamo screaming, "Witness me!" Oh my God, that's such a good film. Oh man, I lived through the early days of the Mad Max series. I saw it because I was young. I'm older now, right? I saw them, and they're a thing. They're a thing, and we loved them, and we repeated all the lines before the internet existed. We had all the memes that we were telling each other.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, Fury Road comes out again, and it was like nothing had changed 20 years later. I was like, oh, this is amazing. And all these younger kids were watching it and going, this is amazing. And we're like, yes, it is amazing. Welcome. Oh.
My God. Poulay's entire team is going to be shocked.
I know.
Ooh, aggressive move there.
Okay, so this is Beta Ray Bill. It took a damage that allows him to be aggressive, so he gets to move towards the attacker.
Yep. Getting out of the beam. The next beam.
Yeah, if he's clever, we'll see. It has to be towards, so Pat's showing him where the towards is. Maybe Poulay's. Oh no, he's gonna give it a go. Yeah, watch Fury Road. And you know what's the best part about the Mad Max series, in particular Fury Road? But Mad Max is never the main character. He's kind of like he's just kind of like the reason the film exists, but everybody else is doing stuff, and he's just kind of being beaten up the entire time.
I'm no Mad Max expert, but I have seen Fury Road, and I have seen a couple of the original movies. But is Fury Road a reboot or a sequel?
I would say it's a sequel. But there's no connection to the past stories. But you don't really need that because, it's just him trying to survive in the desert. It's a different actor.
Yeah, the concept is there. It's wasteland.
Australians.
Yeah.
Boy. Well, this is going to be rough. Look at all those conditions out.
Oof, look at them blockers.
I know. Poulay's been blocking like a boss. So he's taking a lot of shocks, but the damage could be a hell of a lot worse. Groot got the worst of it seems like. Now Mystique.
Whoa, 0 damage.
Unbelievable. Pat must be like, what is going on? Didn't do the proper sacrifices. I mean, it's very evident by these rolls. I'm watching the Moon Knight series on Disney Plus. So I've got this whole Egyptian kind of, arcane magic kind of a thing in my head right now.
Right. So what episode are you on?
5. So I've watched the first 4 so far. First 4, yeah. And by the way, that actor.
What do you make of it?
It's great. I really like it. Like very clever how they're doing. I think the TV shows are doing a lot more mature storytelling than the actual MCU films are. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. I think maybe they are sometimes a little too much setting stuff up for later than full-fledged stories in their own right. But I like it. But I can see they are also very different from the MCU movie-wise. So I can see that, like, being an issue. It's speaking to different types of audiences, but target at even though they're targeted at the same one.
Yeah. Real quick, it looks like Crimson Dynamo's 2 beams are done. The upshot is that he dazed Groot, but Mystique only took 1 damage. She's shocked. Raccoon took none, shocked though. And
Mystique is not shocked.
Oh, beg your pardon. Yeah, I was looking at Incinerate. Sorry. Mystique did not get shocked. Took 1 point of damage. No problem. Rocket got shocked, but no damage. Amazing. And who's left? Star-Lord took 2 damage. No shock. So not the greatest set of beams, really.
It's not. And Pat needs to start getting stuff killed here because currently they're scoring even Steven every round. But sooner or later, Poulay is going to get one of those spikes to take a spider off of one of Pat's characters. And that's going to drop him a point and give Poulay the lead. And the closer we get to 16 points, the more decisive that single days can turn out to be.
So it looks like Nebula got activated. I think Pat changed Emma to diamond form somehow. I'm not sure.
He did.
How does that work, though?
He did. It's when he is...
oh, did Nebula attack her? That's what it was. Nebula attacked Emma.
Yes.
Got it.
Let's see here. When he's targeted by an attack, he can use his superpower diamond form. It costs 1 and turns her into Emma Frost Diamond. And that gives her better defensive stats.
Right.
She has 2, 3, 5 as in a normal form, and 4, 4, 4 as a diamond form. And she also has some. She can count blanks against mystic attacks. But she also has the downside of not being able to play tactics cards and getting crappy range for her attacks.
Yep. Well, Nebula's first attack didn't do much or anything, but the second attack got 6 hits going through, and she's only saved 1, so she's taking 5. Wow. Wow. And is shocked. The French are going ballistic in the chat. They're saying all kinds of things in French. I assume they're excited. Or maybe they're just drunk. Who knows? Could be either. Could be both. People are saying both. Huggy Bear, when's that big tournament? Oh, you said it was it's just before the Midsummer holiday. Because Midsummer is
17th of June.
National holiday in Sweden, right? And do you get like a whole week off or just the day? Like what?
No, just the day.
Just the day. But people take like a week off around that sometimes, or a lot of times. No? Not really?
Not because of it's like traditionally a week where a lot of people choose to start their vacation, their summer vacation.
Okay.
So I think that might be the reason that you see a lot of free people during that time. But I wouldn't say if it's around a weekend, you still get a long weekend because it's
Yeah,
a
sure.
holiday.
Sure. And you said Sweden, it's particularly well celebrated in Sweden out of all the Nordic countries. Can you elaborate on
It's
that?
basically our unofficial national day. Today is the national day of Sweden, actually,
Oh,
which is sort of kind of complicated because it's not really an Independence Day because Sweden was an independent country
yeah.
before 1523. But uh, I mean, it's sort of like on the 6th of June in 1523, we elected a king that would and whose succession would remain in place basically until now. So it's basically the birth of the Swedish monarchy, uh,
Oh,
or the modern the current Swedish monarchy line that is celebrated, rather than an independence. Well, you could also argue that it was some sort of independence because Sweden was part of a Kalmar Union before, and
well,
well, in order to be part of a union, you still have to be sort of a country. But we didn't have our own king, but we sort of had quite a bit of self-governance. So yeah, there's a lot to
wow.
debate. But yeah,
I didn't know about any of this. This is amazing. All I knew is that you guys were the oppressor in the Nordic region, the Lion of the North kind of a thing, and that's about it.
well, that was later. That was in the 17th and 18th centuries. In the 14th and 15th centuries, Denmark was the superior power, let's say.
Whoa. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought it was always so.
Well,
But
and then Denmark was mostly the same state as Norway. So Denmark Norway was sort of a union for way longer than the Kalmar Union. Also, Finland was a part of Sweden,
I
which
know.
is
That's what I'm saying. I always thought Sweden was fully in control. I didn't realize there was a moment, a time where they were still trying to get their act together. Basically, oh, this is amazing. So, Beta Ray
yeah.
Bill.
Sorry about that, Luke.
No, no, that's all good. Beta Ray Bill patched up Emma, which was massive. He used all 5 power on her, so that kind of sucked for
Yep.
Poulay. And but I'm not sure anything has happened since. Maybe they needed a break or something after all the excitement. I'm not sure anything happened. So today is also my name's day, Huggy Bear.
Mm,
Do you celebrate?
congratulations.
Thank you. That's name's day for people who don't know is when the day that your saint that you're named after was martyred typically. So
Right.
there was a Saint Norbert, and so this was the day that he got put down for his beliefs in the zombie Jesus. And yeah, so sometimes I get a cake, sometimes I get a hug, something small. Do you celebrate it in Sweden, the names days?
Yeah. But, most people don't remember.
And
I don't even. I couldn't even if you asked me what day is my name's day, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. Sometime in February, I think.
Saint Huggy Bear?
Saint Huggy Bear.
What country?
But do you guys get to celebrate all of your names, even your second names?
I don't think it's terribly popular at all in Britain. Certainly not in America. It was in Germany, and so that's why I get it. My family always remembers, and they send me. I used to get cakes when I was a kid for namesdays, but there's something else I wanted to mention.
Ulik activating early here.
Yeah. To finish that off, I think the namesdays were a bigger deal in the old days because people didn't have calendars, and so the church would celebrate the saint's name martyr day, and that's how you knew it was a name's day. So I think people celebrated it as their birthdays back then because that was when you knew it when it was happening, as opposed to when you're actually born.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, Ulik decided to do a crushing leap into Rocket, which is perfect because Groot's not helping him any longer. And that's
But he does not get him down.
really 1, 2, 3, 4 hits into 1 save. That should be enough. No?
But Rocket has always cover.
Cover. Wow. Wow. Pat's dice just hating on him today.
Yep. I mean, doing 3 damage through what's likely to be 2 blocks is kind of, it means he needs to get 5 hits on across 6 dice. That's asking a bit much, maybe. It does happen, but banking on it is risky. Not saying that he did, but I believe he just. I suppose Pat was probably hoping for the Crimson Beams to do a bit more damage, perhaps leaving 1 or 2 characters on 1 or 2 damage, so he could go in and do some easy dazing with Beta Rape's Throw or Ulik's Crushing Leaf later, but that failed. So now he needs to see where he can get chip damage and then finish people off with a Beta Ray Throw at some point. But he has 0 power on Beta Ray after that patch up, though. So.
So how did he do another Crushing Leap? Can he do it twice?
Yes, and it's
okay.
really good.
I've forgotten. Okay, so he Crushing Leap backwards to try to take out Nebula.
Yeah.
Poor Nebula. Always getting the hate. And does, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3 hits into 1 save, does 2 points of damage.
Yep.
And gets to push her, and he's pushing her forward.
And he did not get enough power to throw the boulder.
Ah, yeah, which is right there. I'm sure he was looking to do that because he's well positioned to do it.
But he has served her up to Beta Ray and Emma Frost. Emma Frost is in diamond form, so she only has range 2, so it'll be a nice target for her.
All right. Now, this game is intense, actually. Now I'm looking at this.
Yep.
Dice have been holding Pat a little bit back, but Poulay's really been pulling some really interesting plays with his positioning is just so odd compared to what I'm used to seeing on these streams.
Yeah, so far, way things look now, I would not be surprised unless Poulay starts spiking into Beta Ray or something. I'm expecting to see another 4-4 round. And then it's going to come down to how much damage Crimson Dynamo can do his first activation next round. Unless he's the one who dies.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Pat picking up that middle spider, he'd be trailing behind at this point. So,
so that was Poulay not having eyes on the prize for his Beta Ray bill has certainly put its mark on this game.
Yep. Great to hear about the French team getting together. I'd be curious to know how they managed to get the last 1 or 2 players to join up. I'm hoping it was because of the stream last week, selfishly. That'd be really nice to know. But nonetheless, they're coming. And looks like
Starlord having a go at Crimson.
Who is?
I believe that, Crimson Animal.
No, but who's attacking?
I believe that Starlord.
Ah, okay.
I believe the range 3 measurement there was to see whether Pat could use Disruption Field, and he could not, it seemed. Because it has range 3. Ooh, my word.
Wow. Spike City. 6 hits into 2 saves.
Plus reduce.
Reduce, yeah.
But that's still 3 damage going through. That's huge.
That's reminiscent of Pat Starlord at Adepticon. Starlord was just popping off and blowing up big boys like they were no problem. Big swing indeed, Damsora. Oh, he's playing a card. He's playing fallback.
Ooh, nice one.
Yeah, that's Pat for you. Another thing that he was doing at Adepticon so well when he was playing in the finals was using those defensive cards. puts him off the point though, but might be worth it because everyone's saying how important
Yeah.
Crimson is to the Hellfire plan here.
Crimson is also on his injured side, so he will be easily out contested by any of Poulay's characters. So like minimalistic fallback there.
Yeah, look at that, Pat.
Just a smidge outside of 4.
Looks like it, and sees he's still contesting. Look, sure enough, he is. Wow, nicely done, Pat. Amazing. All right, so what is... Okay, so he's retreating.
What will be interesting to see is if Rocket is within 3 of Crimson now for this disruption field.
Mm-hmm. Possibly.
Rocket is also shocked,
close.
which I assume he would need to shake in order to be a serious threat.
Beta Ray Bill trying to polish off Nebula.
Interesting. I would have thought that Emma Frost would be the one to try and achieve that. Maybe he's hoping for a spike to generate power for a throw.
3 hits into 2 saves so far with a reroll, and nothing. So looks like 1 hit going through, putting her 3 out of 5. She is holding it together back there. You go, Nebula.
Yeah, and being incinerated on top of that.
Second attack. Only 2 hits. Oh my word.
And a reroll.
1 save so far.
It's not gonna cut it.
Another hit goes in. So she's on 4 out of 5. God.
And he doesn't get enough power to throw her. Well, Emma Frost is gonna finish the job most likely, but
yeah, but that's a lot of effort to just take out Nebula.
Yeah. There's the leadership. There's the leadership. He got this.
The power of the leadership. Nice, nice.
There it is.
Clever.
Now throw her and KO her.
Yep. Just throw her into... Yeah, but who? How far is the throw? Medium?
Medium, yeah.
Baby gets to throw him into his own bill.
I'm not sure if he wants to throw him into Poulay's bill because that would give him the 1 power for
Whoa. Actually, Nigel's making a good point. The card happens at the end of activation, so he can't use the power to throw it.
That's true.
Wow.
True.
Whew. Nebula's unclenching her coal. He healed Dynamo a point with that Hellfire Club. Yeah. Okay. So sure, here comes Rocket now into a reinvigorated Crimson Island. What?
He did not. Oh, not within 3, and he spent 4.
Oh, is this the hard-on enforcer?
The hard-on enforcer.
All right, Crimson Dynamo is going to get a hard-on here, and but doesn't do very much. Per usual, spenders are so overblown.
He got the wild, so he's going to pull Beta Ray Bill off of that point.
Nice.
Yeah, because that means that Poulay's Beta Ray Bill could possibly reach Pat's point, strike Emma, and get her away. Maybe.
Now he's moved Rocket towards the middle point, though. What is going on, Poulay? He
wants to outscore Dynamo.
Oh, I see.
Contest Dynamo, and also next round, Groot is gonna be waking up, putting Rocket in a safer spot. But also, this is playing into Pat's Dream Beam next round.
Yep.
Dynamo Dream Beam.
Okay, here's Emma. She's gonna polish off that nebula. Let's see.
I
This is Diamond Form Emma. Nice hit. 4 hits, including a crit, into it looks like no saves. Yeah, 4 hits into no saves. Even with the reroll, I think she's done. But I mean, wow. And Emma goes back to normal form. She's feeling more like herself. And that's Diamond Form goes off the table. So Emma's securing the back point as far back as she can go, basically.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if she's within 2 of another model, and Deception is still playable.
Ooh. I think he's caught it. Because that means Emma's going to maybe be in Beta Ray Bill range. Ugh.
Yep. And also off of the point.
Yep, sure enough.
He can just move up and score it. Oh,
Poulay is all over this. This is him. He's such a late game maestro.
Just play Deception now and optimize positioning later.
What are you doing, dude? Oh, he's getting to the point.
Yeah.
Greedy son of a gun.
Yeah, for sure. But why doesn't he decept her off now?
First, yeah, right. Maybe he thought he was.
Maybe he's unable to. Let me check.
Oh, she had that ability.
Cannot be pushed or advanced. No superpowers. This is a tactic card.
Oh wait, he's telling her to go.
Okay. See, he tells her to go out into Africa, so he does not want to be attacking her with Beta Ray Bill.
Interesting. Why?
Sure.
Why?
Well, getting her dazed would take away a spider from Pat at a critical moment in the game. So,
no,
but that would have.
Yeah. No, why would Poulay would not want her to go towards Bill and get beaten up?
Yeah, exactly. But now he's sending her the other direction.
Yeah, why?
I don't know.
Okay. Again, Poulay's just
maybe he's planning to have Bill try to kill Crimson Dynamo anyway, and then just give Emma a bad activation next round.
So a first-time chatter, thank you, Ukami Tez, saying attacking her might let her change back to her diamond form, and so she could get back onto a point, possibly that center point.
I think that could probably have been easily avoided by moving her to somewhere like a bit further away, in between Ulik and Poulay's Beta Ray. It's hard to measure out now, but I think that could have been avoided.
Anyway, Beta Bill is deciding to attack Crimson Dynamo, who is also a threat. But Beta Ray so far has not done very well.
It appears that he shook.
Shock.
Yeah. Maybe he did his spender that gives him rerolls against a flying character, because Crimson Dynamo is flying.
Yep.
If I remember correctly.
But no, he
did not get the shock. I'm not sure if Crimson Dynamo is immune to shock. Let's check and see if he is. He is not immune to shock. So.
Interesting. Beta Ray Bill did nothing to Crimson.
Yep.
That leaves. That's it. That's the end of the round. Whoa. 13-11 to Poulay. 13 to Poulay. 11 to Pat. New round is starting. They will do Incinerates, and then they will do the Spider Infecteds. Wow.
I think this was. This was big.
What part?
Poulay getting a lead here, because now he only needs to score 3 points to win, which looks by the look of it could be quite easy for him to achieve. Basically, he only needs to run away with Mystique, and then if Pat fails today's Star-Lord with Dynamo, then Star-Lord is looking like he's kind of safe against most of Pat's team. So Pat could just run Mystique away as far as possible. They will be rolling for some spiders here, though, so that might change things for sure.
Amazing match tonight.
So if Star-Lord survives with a spider on a point and Mystique runs away with a spider, that's 3 points. That's all he needs. And then Pat needs to score every other point to keep it even. And that's certainly a much harder job than just preventing it.
Beta Ray Bill fails the spider roll, and so he gets moved back towards Ulik. And it looks like Emma is also failed, and she's going far off into Africa. She's on on safari today. This is not good for Pat. I'm not sure about if Ulik has gone yet. Ulik probably has not moved, because now it's going over to Poulay's side. He's rolling for Mystique. Mystique has to move. Pat's measuring 3 into Emma. Pat has priority, so he'd be able to do something about that Mystique, so that's clever. And that means then only Star-Lord left to go to see if he moves or not. He's in the back point, so it'd be a matter of whether he gets effectively staggered or not. And he does not. He does not move. Right. So
Crimson Dynamo will...
Yeah.
I expect him to go first. Propulsion thrusters slightly forward and beam Star-Lord and Groot and Rocket.
Yeah.
Hoping to take as many of them as possible out.
Sure enough.
If Star-Lord survives, I
don't think he can get there. It looks like that.
Oh my God! If Star-Lord is safe,
looks like Star-Lord is safe.
Then, well, that might change Pat's plan to go for Mystique here. I'd say, but doing 4 damage to Mystique has turned out to be difficult so far in this game. So, but if Mystique doesn't go down and manages to just run away, then that's gonna throw a spanner in the works of Pat, big time.
Big moment for Pat now. Decide how to use this priority. Hope everybody's enjoying them.
He can basically lose the game during this activation if he gets a bad one.
I hope everyone's enjoying the game.
There will.
Okay, go ahead, Huggy.
Sorry, he still will get chances, but he's gonna need to be really, really lucky. If he's unlucky for 1 activation now.
All right, here we go. It looks like Pat's electing to do Crimson's Beam into the Rocket Groot duo. Groot is on his injured side. Rocket is sitting on just 1 hit point left.
Yeah,
but he has to.
That does not matter
if Groot's around. Yep.
Yeah. Maybe he could use his rocket pods because that does automatic damage to enemies nearby. I think. Yep. If he does homing rockets into Groot, he could do 1 automatic damage to Rocket if he gets a wild.
4 hits,
it's only 5 dice.
4 hits, including a crit, into just 1 save. That's 5 hits. 5 hits into 2 saves. Oof. 3 go through.
There it is.
And a shock.
Because if he doesn't take down either Groot or Rocket here, Deadly Duo is going to happen.
Oh, yes. People, you were saying you got to save it for that moment.
Yes.
All right. His second attack did 3 hits into 1 save. Is he going to re-roll it?
Basically 2 attacks left for him to go.
He's done 5 out of 7 in into Groot.
So highly unlikely we're going to be seeing a Deadly Duo this game. But taking out those two guys is still going to be... Because this does not stop. This does not put Poulay's Star-Lord in danger, and this does not stop his Mystique from being able to double run to the left from our point of view, getting as far away from everything as possible.
All right, he's done it. He's managed to pull Groot off the table. He's been knocked out. This means Rocket now has to suck it up and see if he can manage to hold him off. Oh my God! Is it only one hit, which he has cover to save?
Yep.
Rocket is such a bastard. You horrible, horrible raccoon. Oh man.
Oh my.
It's so obnoxious.
Yeah.
And
Crimson was too distracted by the hard-on that was enforced.
And now he's using his placement ability to move himself back onto the back point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. This is unreal.
If Poulay just double runs Mystique now, and then saves Beta Ray Bill for last to activate and throw someone off a point, I think the game is done.
Is Poulay looking to attack? Oh my God, what are you doing, dude?
Just run away, Poulay. Just do it.
Also, Pat
This
used
is not the time for violence.
No, it is not. Poulay, Patrick used Hellfire Club, so he healed up Dynamo a bit more because he's sitting on the point. And
why does he want to give Emma the opportunity to kill Mystique?
I don't know, man.
Just run
Run
away.
Just run, dude. Poulay's got the red mist. It's the French bull. and
Matamoros rage.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like,
Get that blue girl out of there, man.
Just run away. Oh my God. Come on, Frenchies.
It's basically, I mean, I think maybe Ulik can get one attack into Star-Lord. But other than that, he's pretty damn safe. So
okay, so Rocket's deciding to attack Crimson Dynamo for some reason. Oh. People are saying if Mystique runs, Pack could score 5 and tie at 16-16.
Yes, but Beta Ray Bill can, but Poulay can go last with his Beta Ray Bill and just throw someone off a point.
Yeah.
To prevent that from happening. And I'd say Pat is unlikely to do 5 damage to Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah. With
either his own Beta Ray Bill or Ulik, while simultaneously claiming points.
Yeah, so Rocky did nothing into Crimson, so uses second action to move back onto the back point to stay safe. But yes, as we predicted, Emma is now going to attack Mystique.
Yep.
And Emma's not...
And Poulay needs to pray to the dice gods.
Yeah. Let's see what the dice tell us. Nothing's come up yet. She spent power, Huggy Bear. So is this a spender or she got some ability?
She does have a spender. It is called Hands Off.
Oof.
It's range 3.
5 hits, including 2 crits, into no
and it
saves.
has my
2 saves. Oh no, she's got no saves.
No, it's not 2 saves. She got no saves.
Yeah.
No saves against Mystic, and also she's got save.
Oh, it's Mystic.
So yeah, she should have ran.
So now Emma can't pick up that spider because you can only hold one at a time. But that's a dazed Mystique, and Pat's going to put the spider as far away from Poulay's team as possible. So it's all the way in the back there on that cart.
Pat is probably not going to be able to score 6 this round.
He needs 6 or 5? He needs 5 to win, right?
5. Yeah, as long as he stops Poulay from scoring 3. Yeah, and that's certainly doable. All he needs to do now is score the middle and stop Poulay from. But Poulay will still have the last activation, so
Yeah. So
unless Beta Ray goes down,
right.
which is somewhat unlikely. He's a tanky boy, but
All right.
spikes happen.
Poulay's up
And
next. He's got Star Lord and Beta Ray Bill on his side. Pat's still got Beta Ray Bill and Ulik on his side.
yep. Ulik might be able to place himself in a way so he can throw the Quinjet at
Size
Beta Ray
5.
Bill.
Size 5.
It's size 5. So okay. So no throw. Yeah, then it's really unlikely that Beta Ray goes down, I'd say.
Poulay looking to maneuver with Beta Ray Bill.
Ooh, save him for last, man.
I don't know. He's got the red mist. Pat's waving the I don't know what they think that call. The
Wait a minute. The death of Mystique. The death of Mystique makes it so that Pat has the last activation now.
Yeah, because it's Poulay.
Yep.
Then it'll be Pat.
So I'd say
Pat.
No, Pat would not have gotten last activation if Pat had dazed Rocket there because yeah, true. But now Pat is gonna go to 16 and Poulay is gonna probably end up at 15.
Wow.
I'd say.
Okay, so it looks like Beta Ray Bill is attacking Crimson, probably with his spender. 3 hits, a lot of skulls. 4 hits altogether into 1 save, plus damage reduction. Oh, there's a reroll involved. Hang on. So it looks like 5 hits into effectively 2 saves. So 3 go through. And oh, there's some more dice being rolled. A lot of extra dice. Oh, probably because of Crimson probably did this deception field thing.
Yep, for sure.
Didn't help. Wow. In fact, it helped. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hits into effectively 2 saves. It's 5. If I'm doing my maths right.
This is into Beta Ray, yeah. So
Beta Ray is on 5 out of 6 hit points after that.
Yep.
And shocked. Wow. Adman B says he was right about Deadly Duo card. Yep, dead card. All right, so now Beta Ray Bill's going after Crimson Dynamo, so he's splitting the difference. Great, 3 hits, including a crit. Crit rolls into, I'm not sure yet. Another hit, so that's 4 hits altogether. Into great save though. Crimson Dynamo is just invincible this game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's been dazed.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a fantastic piece.
Yeah. Crimson's fantastic.
In every way, shape.
On ease, typically though.
Yeah, for sure. Not bad at C's.
Yeah. So that's it for Beta.
Well, if there are any C's left, it's some other letter now. Meteors.
Oh, is it not C?
Intrusions.
Yeah.
Pretty good at intrusions. That's a C.
Mm-hmm. All right, Pat's turn.
I can kind of do work at a B as well, and on researcher.
Yeah. Alien ship, I don't think is C, is it? Or isn't it like I or something?
It's C. It's C, but it's not a secure, so it's moving around.
Okay, yeah. All right. Patrick's measuring things out. Deciding to see what Starlord is able to do. And realizes that Crimson Dynamo could be affected by Starlord.
maybe. Yeah, probably can.
But I don't think. Well, we've seen crazy things happen, but I don't think Starlord is going to take down Crimson Dynamo on
No,
one
I
attack.
think Star-Lord would want to put his damage into Beta Ray Bill if he can,
Yeah, for sure.
but I expect it to go last.
Crucial point here. I hope everybody's enjoying this match here tonight. It's been a fantastic one. Poulay really holding his own. Patrick showing us what the Hellfire Club is all about. And it's on the knife's edge. Still on the knife's edge. These games that we streamed, every game has been such a tight game from start to finish. It's been a fantastic season so far. If you're watching, do consider joining the next season. Season 12 will take place after this summer break. All right, Patrick looks like he's going to move with Beta Ray Bill before Beta Ray Bill gets dazed. He's only got 1 hit point left. Or he's thinking about it anyway, trying to see where to put him.
Double moving, throwing someone off the point. Denying Poulay 1 point. It's possible. But yeah, it's I don't think Star-Lord can reach with an attack into Beta Ray Bill the way things are, so I'd expect to see Ulik activating. And for Beta Ray to be going last.
Wow, Pat really thinking this through.
Yep.
He's really got to make this activation work because he knows he's at the end of this game. Everybody's in the chat. People are putting all the strategies down, how they would manage this. It's quite a puzzle. It reminds me of the old days of War Machine, where they had no quarter magazine, and they would have a puzzle on the back page, where they would show you a map of where models were on the table, and typically you had one activation left, and you had to figure out how to win the game based on just like one activation or 1 or 2 activations.
Right.
Do you remember those? It was fun. It was a really cool puzzle. I think Tim Simpson made a lot of those puzzles up, or Josh Salter, or maybe both. They were great. So this is like that. So Pat's decided to move Ulik up once, and now he's doing Crushing Leap to get into the back of the field.
Yep. So, and he's gonna have power to throw the cart into Star-Lord as well. So he has a decent chance of robbing him of his activation. And his spider infected.
All right, big roll here.
Seal the deal.
Ulik going into Star-Lord.
Star-Lord goes down now. That's a game. It's probably already game, though.
3 hits, including a crit, into so far 1 save. Wow, not so good for Pat. 4 blanks. Wow. 3 hits into just 1 save, but Star-Lord can take it.
Star-Lord needs. Yep.
But now here's the throw.
Yeah. So 4 damage incoming. He needs to dodge 3, and that's not it.
That's not 3. Oh my God!
Goodbye, Star-Lord.
He always does this. And he's moved the spider into the backfield because Beta Ray Bill can't pick it up either. So that's Bill denying the back point to either player and also scoring with 1 spider there.
This also tells us that we were wrong earlier, or I was wrong earlier, that Star-Lord was safe.
Ulik is such a Chad. He does this for me all the time. That's why I use him so much in Shadowland Daredevil. Man, God, is he a great character. Wow. Poulay. Oh, my God. That is it, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is 16 for Pat to 13 to Poulay. Amazing puzzle that Pat, he's such a machine, figuring out
Yeah,
all
but
the
I
different
would be
angles.
surprised if he wasn't sweating here.
Yeah. I mean, it was just through super clever and careful analysis of his final activations that he managed to pull this out, because otherwise Poulay
Yep.
seemed to have it in the bag. Wow. But still, all hats off to Poulay fighting off the avatar of ChatGPT in a spectacular fashion down to the bitter end. Really well done, especially for a French meta, which we've come out of nowhere. We've only started learning about them through the TTS Season 11 league. So well done to them. Let us go and find out what the players thought about the game. What do you say, Huggy Bear?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. If you got questions, folks, please do put them in the chat. We will endeavor to ask the players about it. Let me just move over into their channel. There they are.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys, wow. Another super entertaining game tonight. Thank you so much for letting us stream the game.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for streaming us. We were just saying we thought this game was loads of fun.
It was fantastic. The chat was nonstop on fire with all the different things that was going back and forth. The French people tried to start, the conversation in English, but when the heat started coming on, they just gave up and just started talking in French. It was just, flying. There's no time for this English nonsense. We're just gonna let out the emotions in French.
Awesome.
It was so fun. So fun. So congratulations to you both for a fantastic game. Poulay, we got to start with you. Man, oh man, we typically don't stream the same person twice in a row just to have a variety, get other people on the stream. But man, you have given us 2 games so far that have been really great. We just don't, your play style is bonkers. We just don't see this sort of thing. Early plays of lovable misfits, moving Rocket up right into the middle, late game maneuverability. It's bizarre. So, tell us a bit about what you expected. What was your game plan going into this match?
For the game plan, I was expecting. I want to play wide to be sure to have more character on secure, but I make so many mistakes, so many. Crimson Dynamo can beam 4 times, I think, into 3 or 4 character. So I make so many mistakes. Play lovable misfits very early, maybe too early. I forgot to patch up Groot. I forgot to use Deadly Duo. So I was confident for the 2 first round because we were 4-4, 8-8, and I just want I have seen an opportunity to take 2 points more, so I take it, and a bad choice. I think if I have activated Mystic, maybe with the run.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key question. We were going to come to that, but it seemed like the key moment, you'll hear it in the replay, is in this late game here round. The question is why didn't you just double run her away?
I don't know. I was not thinking she's down with only 1 attack. But I don't know. I want to protect Groot because Rocket, because I was afraid by Ulik to move on my back punt. So, and I was really. I hope. I hope Beta can daze his bill. And I miss it. So because if I daze him, it's 2 points. So we are going to a 5 round. So maybe with priority and 5 round, maybe I can do something more.
Yep. Okay, understood. You also seem to be focusing quite a bit on Crimson Dynamo. What was your thought process there?
Because I really love Crimson Dynamo, and I know field disruption is very, very difficult for opponents. Because it forces reroll on wild and all easy effects. So I want to focus him to dazed and KO him to be more quiet. But I fell. I can daze him easily, but I cannot KO him. So maybe I need to focus him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
okay.
you said you made a lot of mistakes, but you did, like you said also, that you managed to keep parity for 3 rounds. It was perfect parity the entire time. Was that kind of your plan? Was it to like stay parity and then just try to do attrition down on the other team, or like what was going on?
Uh, uh, I want to stay at the score to not be outscared. I know with 6 character against 4, I cannot have the middle point, but one mistake is not to take. I am surprised to take
Uh-huh. Yeah.
this one, and when I choose my card, I totally forgot this one. And I think if I take it, that's not the same game because Pat it was necessary for him to be more aggressive against me. So I think the first mistake was this card.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hate to see how you play if you don't make all these mistakes and forget stuff because you seem to do really well. But
Yeah.
let's move over to Pat then. Pat, congratulations on the win. It was a real pleasure to see you play as always, but in particular because you helped a lot of the community see now how Hellfire Club plays. Can you tell us a bit about why you went so narrow with Hellfire Club?
Sure. So this is a tricky situation for me because I've lost priority, so I have to play on these tight secures, and which is absolutely where I don't want to be, right? And I think this is not a very good showcase of Hellfire Club, although they're a good team. This is probably their worst possible crisis. Demons Downtown. And Poulay has a great roster, and he can go lots of different ways with it, right? He could do a very wide team. He could do a narrow team. He could do a Thanos team. He could do all kinds of different things. So it's very hard for me to build a roster that answers everything. And I picked a team that I thought was stronger into Thanos or Ghost Rider. That's why I've got Ulik. And why I've got Bill. I mean, Bill's great in this crisis anyway because he's immune to Incinerate. But Ulik in particular is good at threatening those big guys with his activated token that he can place with the spender. And then, unfortunately, that didn't manifest, right? So I ended up playing 2 characters down, which was not ideal. So if I could predict that Poulay would go 6 wide, I wouldn't have picked this team. But of course, I couldn't do that. And that's why I ended up with only 4.
I see. So you were more worried about him bringing big boys, and so you went with a team that could do that. And unfortunately, it didn't pay off.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But I figured the more models on the field, the better Dynamo will be. So he's like my insurance policy against a wide team.
Yeah, fair. And just for the viewers at home, the reason you feel like the Demons Downtown's not great for Hellfire Club is because there's only a few secures, and those secures, whilst you get healing from your affiliation ability, the secures are also giving you Incinerate, which makes you more vulnerable. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, my team is not really about fighting. It's about mobility and displacement. And this crisis is one of the worst for those traits. Right. So it's all pointing against me. On the other hand, I probably got my best extract for the situation. So it wasn't all bad by any means. Spider Infected is pretty helpful and led to some really interesting interactions between the 2 crisis effects. Deciding which one to activate first with priority was interesting. And I went back and forth on that depending on which one I thought could give me some advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you had some unlucky dice rolls where you just couldn't put out enough damage, and also a few crucial failed spider-infected rolls.
Yeah, for sure. Luckily, my mobility was enough that the spider-infected displacements on my team, I don't think they hurt me too bad. The fact that Ulik can travel 1,000,000 miles is really helpful. So he was able to be simultaneously safe, but also threaten the back of the table most of the time, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I think my game plan was to try and leverage some sort of advantage with Crimson Dynamo and capitalize on it. Like get people off secures by murdering them, or just shock the whole team, or ideally kill the fragile extract carriers who are also incinerated. But I mean, I rolled a huge number of dice with Dynamo, right, over rounds 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I set it up to basically beam the whole team twice. And I even got all 5 models on round 3. But his dice actually were just, all things considered, they weren't that hot, right? They were okay.
Yeah.
Like his activation on round 3 was as good as a normal character's activation could possibly hope to be, right? He'd like dazed Groot and shocked 2 other characters.
Yeah.
But by his standards on that map, it was very disappointing.
Yeah.
Like he could have just won the game on the spot.
Yeah.
And so because that didn't happen, things became a lot scrappier. And I think I was just lucky to have things go my way in the last round.
You must have felt a little bit of bitter fate there about how Rocket was holding on so well, considering how many times that you've had your Rocket do the same.
It's true. But to be fair, the last time I played this game with my Hellfire Club into Guardians, Crimson Dynamo one-shot Rocket twice. So this is just the flip side of that, right?
Right. I thought I had one more question, but it'll come back to me. Huggy Bear, what questions do you have for the players?
Basically, we've covered what I was wondering. I was wondering about the early lovable misfits. I was wondering about why Mystique didn't run away round 4. And I was also curious about Pat's more violence-oriented narrow team with Hellfire Club. I did very much enjoy your series of podcasts on your Hellfire Club list, Pat, and I was a bit confused given what you were how you were describing them there. So maybe I could ask, did this game give you any realizations on new ways to play Hellfire Club, or perhaps at least how to get out of a tricky situation such as Demons Downtown?
I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I think obviously I was able to get out of it. One of the things that's nice about Hellfire Club is you can always pick some characters that are good in the situation, right? And the fact that Bill and Dynamo are really good on this crisis helps offset the fact that my affiliation is not so much inherently. I still, apart from that, I don't know, maybe I should have selected a different team setup. I have models in my team that are really good into this kind of Guardians roster, right? Like Luke Cage, for example. But I still fundamentally, I think it's not the best plan to build Hellfire Club to fight. The reason I was good at fighting in this game is because I had Crimson Dynamo in my roster, and he rolled approximately 80 dice over the course of the game.
Yeah.
And like any team can do that, right? So if I want to be a good fighting team, I could have Crimson Dynamo in my roster and then have some sort of leadership or tactics card that made him better. As he was actually really awkward to play because I often was in a situation where I was torn between having him in the middle on the point to heal or off the point to avoid incinerate, but then being damaged by my leadership. Mm-hmm. And that was actually a constant frustration for me in terms of order of activation. Mm-hmm. So I definitely feel like he was not at his best in this affiliation. He was just a very good piece for this matchup.
Yeah, Patrick, I also wanted to, let me jump in real quick to finish that, Huggy. Do you usually play Crimson so far forward?
I think it's generally best to do because the way he makes people reroll dice is the attacker has to be within range 3 of him. So if he's in the middle of the table, then he has a huge area where he can make people reroll their dice. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, he is the only model of my team that doesn't have an extract. So he's the least valuable to attack. So I think in that circumstance, it's good to play him far forward.
Okay. Go ahead, Huggy Bear.
I was just commenting on the fact that if I don't misremember, I think I heard you say that you were debating dropping him from your roster at some point.
Yeah, I know. But I tell you what, he's definitely staying in. He's been really good the last few games with him.
Yeah.
Do you have more questions, Huggy? I have one more.
Go ahead.
Okay, Patrick, we just wondering about that very last turn. It seemed like that last activation or 2 activations was crucial for either losing or winning the game. How did you come to the realization of using Ulik in the manner that you did to win it?
So I was in a situation where I've got Beta Ray Bill on 1 hit point, and he is out of range to be attacked by Star-Lord, and I've got Ulik, right? And Ulik can attack Star-Lord and maybe kill him. And I've done the maths. I know if that succeeds, I win the game. The problem I have is if Star-Lord comes to the middle and scores it, then Poulay has 3 points and he can win. So whatever happens, I need to... And I think otherwise I'm in a pretty good position because Groot and Nebula are both dead. So I don't mind if the game goes another turn. I just need to make sure that whatever happens, Poulay can't score these 2 plus his extract. And so in order to... Basically, so my options are Bill cannot come forward. Because if Bill comes forward and gets killed by Star-Lord, I just lose. Or it's a really bad situation for me.
Yep.
So my options are Bill could go forward, throw his bill and come back here. But then the problem is, what does Ulik do? He can't then... I basically have 1 less point to score, which means it's harder for me to win the game on the spot. Like if Ulik then comes in after Star-Lord and I do all of this, the game isn't over. So I decide if Bill stays activates last, well then whatever happens, I can't possibly lose. Because even if Ulik comes in, does nothing, Star-Lord rolls hot dice and kills Ulik. Star-Lord can't pick up another extract. Bill can go here, and at least the game continues.
Right.
So I thought of the options I had, the option I took had a moderate chance to win the game on the spot and guaranteed at least that I didn't lose. So I thought that was the one that was worth going for.
Right. Okay. And did that come to you straight away? Just so you could try and think, or was it a realization?
No, I mean, I was umming and ahhing about it.
Yeah.
For sure. But that's basically, that was my thought process.
Right on. Okay. Any last questions, Huggy Bear?
No, I just want to say thanks a lot for a very entertaining game, and good luck in your upcoming games, Pat. I know you're not gunning for the cut this season, but it's kind of sad to not get to see this Hellfire Club go up against the real heavyweight opponents.
Well, I tell you what, Poulay is a pretty heavyweight opponent. He was no slouch despite his protests to the contrary. So I hope this game is really entertaining for people. And you never know, I might be able to, if I'm lucky, I might be able to make it into the cut and play a game or 2.
Right. And I would also, on that note, like to commend your play, Poulay. Your roster is very strong, and I really think you had a big chance of winning right up until the end.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Poulay. Nigel from Views on Minis also wanted to say thanks to Pat, but also Poulay, you're awesome. Well played. So
that's very very kind. Thanks to you. Thanks all. Thanks to you, Norbert, for. I have two live with you, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I begin the game 1 year left, and it's awesome.
Fantastic.
I really like it.
So glad to hear that. And also congratulations on pulling together a team from France to come to the WTC. You made it happen.
Yeah. We are waiting for confirmation, but we really hope we can come and play with all of you.
Excellent. All right.
Awesome.
So good. All right, everyone who was watching, we had a blast with you tonight. Thank you so much for making a great time for us, and I hope you enjoyed the match. And Huggy Bear, it was a pleasure, as always. Thank you so much for coming in today, and I hope that we can stream next week.
Next week is, for me, extremely difficult, I'm afraid. But
okay.
On every other note, totally agree. It's always a pleasure. And we'll be streaming again soon.
Fantastic. All right, everybody. Thanks very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the week for Season 11, and catch you hopefully next week for Week 5 of the MCP TTS Season 11 League. Good night, everyone.